From the Sunmark Federal Credit Union Content Studio, this is the Sunmark 360 with Glenn Stacy.
Hi everybody, welcome to the very first edition of the Sunmark 360 and welcome into the Sunmark Content Studio. With tax season here and tomorrow being the deadline to get your return in, it's a good idea to start thinking about what are you going to do when the federal government or the state government gives you back some money. For starters, there are some really bad things you can do with your tax refund, and there are some really good things you can do with it. You know what the bad things are, right? Don't go out and blow your tax return on stuff you don't need to impress people you don't like. Ritch Anthony is Vice President of Sunmark Member Investment Services, and he's here to suggest 5 things you might want to do with your tax refund. Rich, thanks so much for joining us today on the Sunmark 360. Appreciate it. Now, 2 of the things that probably pop up on most people's minds are getting out of debt, or that what you always hear, that emergency fund. So I'm guessing those are probably 1 or 2 somewhere on your list. Where would you suggest someone should start?
Well, it definitely is a preference to the individual and popping up on everyone's minds. It should more often than it does, I'm sure. But I think paying off debt is got to be, I would edge it a little bit more to the front. You got those high interest credit cards. You're just going to be drowning with those for years if you don't get ahead of them. This is a great way to get a jump, lower that debt, and increase your credit score potentially in the process. Now, the emergency fund is equally as important in many cases. Good rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of income saved in a liquid account that you can access in the case of temporary, you're out of work for a little while, or you have an emergency that you need to access funds quickly.
Yeah, there was just a scary stat that was just released that said 44% of most Americans could not come up with more than $400 in the event of an emergency. If it was over $400, they'd be selling something or borrowing something. So, in a way, that kind of goes back with what you're saying, is to start getting out of debt.
Hard to believe, but yeah, a lot of us are paycheck to paycheck. So
yeah. So besides trying to pay off some debt, and besides that emergency fund, 2 really good things. What's like a third way that somebody could really take advantage of their rebate that they get from the government?
You could put it towards yourself in the future, investing in an IRA account or a college 529 savings plan for your children. It's a nice lump sum of money, give you a nice head start for the future.
Right.
You could actually contribute for your previous year's taxes if you had done some pre-planning with your tax advisor, something to think about for next year.
All right. And of course, you have all the savings and the debt. If you have all that squared away, you can also have some fun too. What are some ways that somebody could really take this refund and kind of have some fun with it?
Well, I like to set aside a little money from my tax refund to do some charitable giving. If you're feeling philanthropic and you have a favorite charity that you like to give to, this is a great way to, once again, to jumpstart that. And
of course, having a little bit of fun for yourself isn't really a bad idea either, if you just set it up properly.
Sure. It's your money. You worked hard for it. You're getting it back. You earned it. Set aside a little something to have some fun for yourself. All work and no play, the old saying. So
you get that large refund. Is it okay to kind of split it up amongst all 5 of these ideas? Or I guess that's really up to each person's situation.
Perfectly okay, and there's a lot more than the 5 that we discussed out there. So yeah, just something to get you thinking.
Yeah, and if you'd like some more ideas, feel free to reach out to Rich. And Rich, how could someone reach out to you if they wanted to learn more about the tips and the ideas we just shared, or other concepts or ideas they might be able to take advantage of?
Well, you can find our reps in all of the Sunmark branches, or you can reach out to us at Sunmark Member Investment Services, 518-347-3141.
Hi, Rich. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. There it is. 5 ideas that you can do with your tax refund once you get to the post office tomorrow and get those in the mail. Thanks so much for watching the Sunmark 360, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to follow Sunmark and the Sunmark 360 on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.